You know, in the old days, boom, firing squad. No, it's true.
Boom, gone. Bang.
Bing, bong. When we were strong, bing, and it goes quickly, right? It's called, you're dead.
How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know? And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house, which obviously didn't do a very good job.
Uh-oh. Looks like somebody fucked up. Looks like somebody got into a little bit of a fender bender right here. Got a little bit of a car fender bender right there. Got a little bit of a fender bender. That looks like a fender bender. Holy shit. Oof. Not good, not good. Now, if this is his car, and that's their car, who's in the right? Well, I guess you can park here, but how the fuck? Okay, well, that sucks. So anyway, yeah, today is Wednesday, and we just got, 2 more days to go till we get that iPhone 17. I gotta have my Apple phone, and that's that. So I gotta go get my Apple phone. Apple phone. I really should, I don't have to do it, but I really should go and charge my car. Now, I have 191 miles left, but I personally like to keep this thing above 50%. So if I go driving tomorrow, I would definitely drop below 50%. And I don't know. I could wait till tomorrow. But maybe tomorrow I don't feel like doing it. Maybe tomorrow I want to do something else. So yeah, I could do that. It's still nice and early. It's only 3:17. But on Friday, I got to go get my Apple phone. My Apple phone. Yeah, Apple is kicking ass. And the phone sales are doing just fine. And meanwhile, Samsung, their product is like, one of my family members got that S25, and I was playing with it, and I honestly didn't see any reason. I just didn't see any reason to it. Not only that, the Apple iPhone 17, you can get it up to 2 terabytes. That S25 only goes up to 1 terabyte. I'm certain that Samsung will probably make the S26 with a 2 terabyte option. But for the time being, right now, the iPhone has pretty much the largest pack-in storage that you can get at 2 terabytes. So, first of all, Android has no phone they have no app that edits video as well as iMovie. That's number one. So number two, because they don't have the video editing capabilities, because they do not have the memory storage capacity, I personally, I look at those Android phones and I see nothing worth liking. I feel like Daniel Plainview in There Will Be Blood. He says, I look at some of these people and I see nothing worth liking. Well, I look at these Android phones and I see nothing worth wanting. Now, everybody's entitled to buy whatever they want to buy. You can buy a Samsung phone, but I'm picking the Apple phone, okay? And it's funny because these chicks on Instagram, all of them, they get an Apple phone. They don't want no goddamn Samsung phone. They don't want that shit. They want the Apple phone. Everybody want the Apple phone. And we're basically all taking the same exact photos. We're taking the same pictures. We have basically the same video quality, but no, they want the Apple phone because the Apple phone is superior to that Samsung fucking. You might as well buy that shit from a Rite Aid or a Walgreens, like where they have those like throwaway burner phones, and it's like $50. Nobody want no goddamn Android. Nobody want that shit. So, but hey, listen. To each his own. If you want it, go ahead and buy one, because I don't want it. You could the one that was there, because right now there's an Android a Samsung S25 that is on the shelf, And if I wanted to, I could go buy it. So there's one on the shelf waiting for me, right? I don't want it. You go and you take your money and you go buy that. And meanwhile, I'm taking my money and I'm buying the Apple phone. The Apple phone. Wait, what's wrong with her car? That car sounds weird. I know that's a Veloster. I guess that's the turbo Veloster. I think something's weird about that. Like it's like whining. You don't usually see the Veloster that much. It was interesting that they made a 3-door car. It's got one door on the driver's side, but it has 2 doors on the passenger side. I was like, that must be like the single mama mobile. Like if you're a single mama, it's like you get in there and then your kids are on the other side, they get in there. And they don't need to get out behind you, and you can let them out at the curb. I don't know. It's like a single mama mobile. I don't know about that. But, yep, just basically 2 more days, and I get my Apple phone. I can't wait to get my Apple phone. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. So when you want a really good chess game, and you want to have a portable chessboard. Well, what I have here is tournament chess combinations. I will provide you the website, the URL link, so that you can consider buying this if you want a nice, portable, high-quality chessboard that you can set up in public and you can have some games of chess. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a nice, simple unboxing of this chess set, and we'll just talk about the quality of the pieces. Now, unfortunately, this model did not offer a clock, and I'm used to playing on the clock, and the reason why is because one thing you got to understand about the game of chess, and this is something that I think a lot of people don't understand, you don't necessarily have to checkmate your opponent. If you can run their clock out, you can still win, even if you've made bad moves and you've cost yourself some important pieces. The important thing is you don't necessarily have to checkmate your opponent. Sometimes you can win by running out the opponent's clock, or there's other default ways of winning. A stalemate's not really a win, but you can actually win just by staying alive long enough because sometimes the game looks bad. But sometimes if you stick in the game, sometimes your opponent makes big mistakes and it costs them everything. Sometimes it looks like the opponent's ahead, but sometimes you come back and you're able to figure out how to one-up them despite the fact that it looked like they're ahead. So what we're going to do is we're going to do like this unboxing right here. So it's a little bit hefty. I had a friend, and what he would do is he had a roll-up chessboard. Now, I could have requested the roll-up chessboard, but I didn't do that because I wanted to see the higher quality chessboard. And, some people like having a chessboard in their living room so that they can, have something, a conversation piece. So, this is the type of board that you might use for that. Like, you don't want to spend too much money. Like, one time I bought a glass chess set, and I really regret buying that glass chess set because I never really used it. So this is the pouch. This feels like one of those microfiber reclaimed material pouches. And this is a very simple, nice pouch, as you can see. It's like those designer luxury bags. So as you can see, A&A chess. Every pawn is a potential queen. That's right. And one of the things that you got to remember about the game of chess, there's only one king on either side. The pawns can never become the king. Like, there's this dude I know who has this profile photo, and it shows a pawn staring at a mirror, and in the mirror he sees a king. And I'm like, yo, that doesn't happen. You can't be a king. You can be a queen, but you can't be a king. I guess that would come from the belief that the kingship is granted by God, and therefore it's divine right. You can't become a king. You can become a queen, but you can't become a king. So it comes with this soft pouch for the white pieces, and then you have a soft pouch for the black pieces. So that's very nice. I'm pretty sure there's instructions of how to play the game of chess. I never ever read chess instructions. I learned how to play. Basically, the best way to learn how to play chess is by constantly playing against people who are better than you. And when I go on chess.com, it's like I play against these dudes 2000s, 2500s. I play against anybody randomly. Sometimes I get a 1400, sometimes I get a 2000, sometimes a 1800, sometimes a 1700. It's all random. So the pieces seem to have a nice weight to them. Yeah, see, it's a roll-up mat because it's portable, right? And they do have wood boards. They also have boards made of other materials. So the pieces, the pieces are well articulated and whatnot. That's knight right there. And this is the queen. Usually most of these chess sets come with more than one queen because they know you can get a pawn promotion. But let's see how many queens they give you. But see, that's the problem. It's like sometimes instead of a pawn promotion to a queen, sometimes you need a pawn promotion to another piece because otherwise you'd cause a stalemate. So sometimes you may have to do a pawn promotion to a rook or maybe a bishop or a knight. This is the king right here. He has the crown. So you only need one king. They do give you a second queen. So we have two queens. We have this knight, another knight. We have the bishop. So they basically just give you two of each piece as expected, but the queen gets a replica. So I'm pretty sure that's pretty much standard. Other than that, if you ever wanted to change to a different piece, I guess if you didn't have another one on the board, you'd have to have everybody pretend that, that the piece is what you want if you don't have a duplicate of it. Okay, so those are the white pieces. Let's see. Black pieces. And another thing, if you want to get good at chess, one of the things you got to do is you have to play randomly. You have to play as black, you have to play as white. Once you understand the strategy as black, once you understand the strategy as white, because the difference is who starts first. So once you understand the strategy of playing on both sides, I used to be a chess player where every single time I started the game, I tried to pick the white side. Why? Because somebody set up the rules and they say, yeah, white goes first. I was like, okay. So I always tried to be white. But what I realized was, just like a lawyer, you need to be able to play on both sides. Yeah. They're nicely articulated. They have the green felt bottoms. So, in fact, I should take them out of the plastic. I could put them in the bags. I could put them in their black bags. That's Black King. We was kings! Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's the Black Queen. That's the Black Queen right there. Feels pretty good. Got the felt bottom right there. Okay. Got the Black Knight, the Black Rook. Okay. All right. We was kings. Let's see, what is it? Yeah, okay. So yeah, the pieces are pretty straightforward, well articulated. I'm definitely gonna put them in their individual bags. I'm gonna just, because this is something you put in your trunk, bring it with you. Second somebody starts talking smack, you pull this out and beat the hell out of them. Okay, so now this mat, this is not like the mat that my friend had. Now, first of all, you have a choice. You can either keep it in the bag or you can take it out. Now, I'm going to take it out of the bag. But the material that this is made of, hold on one second. The material that this is made of, it feels like silicone. Yeah, it feels like a silicone mat. Let me take this out just a second to feel it up. Okay, you see this? This feels like a silicone. It's definitely not plastic, but it feels like silicone. So this is like designed to last a long time. Now, the mat that my friend had for playing, his mat was, what was it? It was like, it wasn't this. It was like a regular plastic material, but this is a silicone mat. So this is like, it's floppy. So you're going to absolutely need a solid surface, basically. Need a solid surface for this. But it looks like it'll last a long time. That's the important thing about it. It's a good feel. I like this. Yeah, so as far as this mat goes, this is pretty nice. Yeah, so basically the felt bottom will protect the mat from the pieces. And all you need is like a full surface in order to set it up. So if I cleared off, my little F-35 EDF right there and got my helicopter out of the way, it's like I could set this up and set both sides up. Yeah, but this is, you can feel that. Nice mat. Okay, so the important thing about having the coordinate system is it pretty much tells you exactly where the edges are. Because one of the things I've noticed, a lot of times people start the game wrong and they have the white square on the side, but that's not how it's supposed to start. So here you've got black queen goes on color. The easiest, when you're playing chess, the easiest thing to remember is when you're setting up, put the queen on her color. So you got the white queen and the black queen. You got the white king goes next to her. And then you got the black king. We was kings right there. We was kings. Got him right there. Got him. Okay, we'll put the extra queen over there. And you got the pawns here on the black side. Fucking Mr. Softy. This guy comes through trying to give these kids diabetes. All right, so yeah. All right. Got the pawns. The pawns always go first. That's the one thing you got to remember about war. The pawns go first. Right now, we've got a lot of political pawns. And they are going one by one. So that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand my political views. But in order to understand it, you'd have to see, first of all, I see all of these people as pawns. They're all pawns. What matters is what their position is and where they are. Once you know what their position is, that tells you a lot about them. You see? None of them will ever be kings. They all want to be a king, but they'll never be kings. So the best they can hope for is to be a queen, So if you want to do that, you got to go to some of these countries. You got to get a surgery for that. But long story short, that's the board. So you got silicon mat. You got your pawns. You got your rooks, knights, and bishops. So they're ready to do battle. Now, again, this is not a conversation piece. It's a silicon mat, and it's, it's regular quality chess pieces. It's definitely nice if you take it out into public. It's large enough where you're going to need a decent sized table, but it's good. It's nice. It's not small. There's nice, decent spacing between everything. I think it looks great. I think this looks great. So if you're interested in this type of chessboard, first of all, let me tell you something. If you're a parent, if you're a father, a mother, whatever, and you know how to play chess, you need to teach your kids how to play this. You really do. Because if your kids know how to play chess, it'll teach them how to understand consequences for their actions a little bit better. You need to teach your kids how to play chess. Like my father didn't teach me how to play chess. I actually learned in a chess club. And he's really good. But in order to beat him, I need to use a clock because, even though he's really good, you can still beat him by running the clock out on him. But the thing about it is there's more than one way to win. That's the important thing. So if you're a parent, you really need to get a decent chessboard. You should get that for Christmas. Forget Grand Theft Auto 6 and forget getting your kids a new pair of teeth or whatever the fuck. You need to get them a chessboard. You need to get them a chessboard. You need to teach them how to play chess. That'll teach them consequences for their actions. That'll teach them how to make smarter moves in the future. That'll teach them how to be more strategic. I didn't get an 850 credit score by not being strategic. In order to do that, you have to constantly think, how am I going to do X, Y, and Z? How am I going to beat the banks? How am I not going to pay interest? You got to be strategic nowadays. I mean, we live in a world where there's people, believe it or not, there's people who run around recklessly shooting off their mouth to other people and talking about other people. If you recognize that somebody has a problem, you know what you really should do? You should go to them and you should say, you know what? I see that you have a problem. How can I help? That's the one thing you don't hear some people say. They never say, how can I help you? They're never looking to help. What they're looking for is to repeat ridiculous rhetoric that's empty. And instead of being properly strategic and say, how can I help? See, if you say, how can I help? The other person, they get disarmed. When you just talk about people and how bad they are, they're armed. They're defensive. But when you say, how can I help? That's when you disarm them. But that's not what this person did. That's not what this person did. Some of these people just don't get it. They don't get it. But that's how it is. You gotta learn this game. When you learn this game, that's when you understand how to be strategic in everything you do. Some people don't understand that. They don't last. This is how I usually play. I usually play on the timer for 3-minute games. Watch this. Look at this. This guy is white. I started randomly as black. And we just look at this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this guy dirty. We're going to do him dirty. Watch this. So this is one of my strategies. I like to put the king in this corner right here. And when you put him in the corner with the other guy's king in the exact same area, what that does is it creates a situation where it's very hard for him to move past you. So this is what we're going to do. Now he doesn't know what to do because he sees that piece right there. He doesn't want to lose it. Watch this. Okay, now he put both his knights there. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to put this guy here. He's going to have to come forward or back. He's got to put that knight back. Like, he's already messing with my strategy because I was going to kill that knight right there. See, I like killing off their knights. See, now he knows he has to move. Oh, really? You're going to give up a knight? You stupid. Okay. Oh, nope. I see what he's going to do. He's going to put that knight. Look at this. He's going to put that knight right there because what he thinks he's going to get that piece. He's going to, nope, you're not sandwiching nothing. Watch this. Now look what he's going to do. Look what oh, snap. I think he thinks he's got me. He thinks he's got me. That's not going to work. We're going to put this guy right there. You're going to come down with the queen, but that ain't going to matter because you can't do nothing with that rook right there. So you think you slick. You're going to try to checkmate me? You trying to checkmate me? Yeah, okay. Where you going? Where you going? Oh, okay. You going to go? No, Boop. Night. What you got to say? Look at that. So if he does come down here, he puts his bishop like right here, he's going to try to attack that piece right there. That's not going to mean nothing. And that's not going to do anything. Sorry, buddy. You're in the wrong place for that. It's not going to work. Oh, you coming after that guy? Okay, let me go after that pawn. What you going to do? Better move that queen, sucker. You better move that queen. You're going to lose everybody. Get out of there. Let's go. Get out of there. Either take my queen or leave. There you go. Now you're thinking. Get out of there. Get out of there. Look at that. Now, you have a knight, and I'm more afraid of your knight than your bishop, so I'm killing him. Goodbye. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? Huh? What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do? What are you doing? Let's put that guy right there. Neither of y'all are moving. Where you going? Okay, let's put this guy right here under his king. He has 1 minute and 28 seconds. I have 1:33. So now we're going to move this knight. We're going to attack this fool. So you know what? Let me put this guy right here because what we're going to do is we're going to hit him in a way that he doesn't even see it coming. Watch this. We're going to move this king out of here. Watch this. He doesn't really like, watch this. We're going to get him. We gonna get him. All right, let's see. Let's get this knight out of here. Let's get that knight out of here. He's gonna put right there and check me. Oh, you think you go? Nope. Oh, nope. Let me put that right there. Watch this. Okay. So okay. I see what he's doing. Okay, let's get that guy right there. Watch this. You see what he didn't look at this. You see this? He can't move the pawn. Because your king is going to get checkmated one way or another. Watch this. So the most he could do is say, you know what? I'm going to put my rook right there and attack that guy. It's not going to work. Watch this. I'm going to move this guy right about here. Then I'm going to move the king here because he's going to put me in check right there. He's going to move the pawn forward, and he's going to try to put the rook right there. He's going to try to put me in check. Ain't going to work, Skippy. Nope, nope, nope. Let's see how we're going to do that. Check. Where you going? Where you going? Get out of there. Okay. Let's put that guy right there. Where are you going to go? Where you going to go? Where you going to go? Where you going to go? Then we're going to put him in check right here with the rook. Watch this. He's got 42 seconds. 42 seconds. I don't care what your position is. Oh, where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Check. Where you going? Ooh, boy. What? Oh, let's put that right there. Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Where's you going? Where is you going? Where you going? You can't move him there because I'll kill him. I'll kill him. Where you go? Watch this, watch this, watch this. I'm going to move the knight there. I'm going to move the knight there. Watch this, watch this. 20 seconds, sucker. 20 seconds. I got 38 seconds. What you going to do? Uh-oh. Watch this. Watch this. Watch the knight. Watch that knight. That's a tricky. Them knights is tricky. You got 11 seconds. Uh-oh. Wait. Good night. Bye. Watch this. Oh, boom. Check. Boom. Where you going? Where you go? Give me that piece, sucker. Give me that piece, sucker. You a sucker. Give me that piece. What you got? What you got? What you got? Up. Boom. Checkmate. You were 23-14 from, I believe that is Croatia. Oh, you are 23-14. And down here, you see my name is no checkmates or rematches, because I'm not playing you twice. You lose, you take your panties, pull them up, and get out. 14-37. What you got to say? What you got to say about that? Look at that. Look at that. You see, I love it. Okay, I done had a little too much coffee. I'll admit, I had this Burger King cup full of coffee. I came home, got my coffee. I was ready to fight. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. Sometimes I lose it. Sometimes I go crazy. Sometimes I have a little too much energy. What happened, Mr. 23-14? Look at this. Let's look at his record, Tommy. Let's look at his record. Let's look at this guy. Wait, what did that say? You have been blocked by this member. See, they be blocking me because I beat guys who are really good, and they're mad at me. Why are you mad at me? You the one who signed up to play. Look at this. He's got all these pictures of him in his chess tournament. He's got all these pictures. Look what you just lost to Donald Trump in a Judge Dredd uniform. You just lost. Look at this guy. He's in the chess tournaments. I'm sitting here behind a computer. Look at this guy. I'm sitting here behind a computer getting drunk on coffee, and you just got destroyed, and you had no idea, and you'll never know. Look at this. Look at his board. He's got that. You see, this is the difference between my board and his. I got the silicon mat. His mat looks terrible. That's the reason why you don't know what you're doing. Look at that. Look at this. Look at these guys. Look at them. Tommy, you got the clock, and you still don't know how to play on a clock? You ran out of time, kid, and I checkmated you. What? Look at that. 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 And let me give you a little secret. Let me tell you a little secret. My rank says 1437 because I continue to play unranked matches. I got it to 1437 and I just stopped it right there. And I play unranked matches. I believe the term is sandbagging. That means what you're doing is you sucker people into thinking that you're not as good as you actually are. But see, when we play unranked and you play randomly, you have no idea who you're about to go up against. So the whole point is that you get better by playing against people who are supposed to be better than you. But old Tommy here, he thought he was better. This dude, look at this dude. He looked like Kyle Rittenhouse to me. And look at this guy looking at him. He's like, yo, how you going to let that dude checkmate you and he's a 1400 and you're not? What happened, Tommy? What happened? Look at this. Rainbow Beach, Queensland, Australia. You got destroyed, Tommy. Look at this. Look at this. Look at his clubs. Look at his clubs. Improvers, Tommy Town, Club Admins, Transgender Club, LGBT Club. Tommy, you got smoked. Instead of you being in those clubs, you need to be in my club. This is what you got to do, Tommy. Go on YouTube and go join Big Truck Series Reviews Market Watch. Because then you'll learn how to play like a pro.
Seize your car, and if it's not legal for the streets, we will crush it.
So you're probably wondering why I bothered to repost that video of me playing chess. It's because between YouTube's algorithm and the fact that, some people would probably look at that video and say, oh, it's about chess, I really don't care about it. I figured, you know what I would do? I'd repost it just to let everybody know that I, had fun making it. So I figured I'd throw a repost together. But anyway, today is Wednesday, September 17th. The long-awaited Fed rate cut has finally happened. And as I've been saying, basically, it's crazy. It's like everything that I've been thinking is coming to pass. And maybe that's because I have the mind of a chess player. Maybe that's what it's... This is a lot about chess that you're playing. You're not playing checkers. I'm watching all of these people, and they're complaining about Charlie Kirk. They one side or the other, they're complaining about Charlie Kirk. And I just don't think that these people understand that they're at war. I'm watching Piers Morgan. You got these people shouting at each other. And I'm like, yo, he doesn't care what your point is. Here's the problem. And I've said this numerous times. This is one of the reasons why, I actually like and appreciate the time that I'm spending going to these electric vehicle chargers. People don't talk to each other anymore. People don't listen to each other anymore. While I've been at these electric vehicle chargers, I've met a lot of people. And I talk to them. We talk about their car. I've met people I otherwise would not have met. I've met women at these chargers. I've met men at these chargers. And I can't really go into detail about the women because, the YouTube algorithm will pick right up on that shit and then it'll fucking goddamn censor me. But anyway, people don't talk to each other. People don't listen to each other anymore. The bottom line is, regardless how you feel about this person was saying a lot of, how should I say, triggering, and you can call it whatever you want, hateful rhetoric, racist rhetoric, but the bottom line is he was triggering these people. And I'm thinking more and more about this Generation Z. Now, you know me on this channel. I've been talking a lot about these kids killing their parents. The word is matricide. The other word is patricide for the ones who are taking out their uncles. No, I'm sorry, not their uncles, their fathers. There's another word for, somebody who kills their uncle. It'll come back to me. But the bottom line is, Generation Z, I don't think anybody understands that you're dealing with a bunch of people who don't know civics. They don't care about the law. They don't know the law. I grew up watching Cops. And I was watching real stories of the highway patrol. I'm not a lawyer, but I understand enough about the Constitution and the law to understand the things that you aren't supposed to do. And I understand a lot about what's supposed to be legal and what's not supposed to be legal, right? I'm not a lawyer. But the thing about it is these kids, they don't give a shit about anything. They don't know the law. They don't care about the law. They haven't been taught civics. They haven't been taught government. Those that you tried to teach civics and government to, they're sitting on their phones in class. They're not paying attention. And the reality is that's putting all of these kids at a disadvantage because as these kids are growing into adults, and I saw this coming a long time ago, the issue is they are emotional. They are immoral. They don't go to church. They're sitting at home playing murder simulators like Call of Duty. They playing Grand Theft Auto. They waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6. Because I swear to God, when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, you're going to have people losing their jobs. You're going to have people staying home playing it. You're going to have people sleeping too late in the morning. You're going to have people cutting their job to play that game. It's going to be crazy. And the reality is these kids are sitting home playing these murder simulators. And they have no more, they're immoral. They have no morals whatsoever. A lot of them are, in my opinion, apolitical, even if they think they've taken a political side, because they don't understand enough about civics or the law to really take a side. Here in New York, you got Mamdani running. As far as I'm concerned, Mamdani's going to win. I understand that there's a large contingency of white voters that want Sliwa to win. Sliwa, whatever. But the reality is that guy doesn't have a chance. And even Governor Hochul has endorsed this dude. And you have to wonder, you're like, well, wait a minute. Why are these people voting for socialism? But take a good look at this generation. This generation is growing up. They aren't going to be able to afford shit. They can't buy a house. They couldn't even dream about buying a house. I'm a millennial. I got friends who can't afford houses. They still in their parents' house. 30, 40. They still in their parents' house. I made it a point to move out of my parents' house just so nobody could ever throw it at me and say, yeah, well, you still live at your parents' house. I was like, you know what? I got to get the fuck out of here. I got to get me a house. And sure enough, my credit is 850. I can basically buy just about whatever I want, and the thing about it is I got property, and I'm looking at these kids and I'm like, you know what? You're never going to have what I have. Like, even if your parents left it to you, you'd screw it all up because you don't have a job. I've had friends who've lost inheritance. Like, their parents have left them a house and they couldn't afford to keep it. And they've lost it. If you were to look at my childhood block, the majority of those people who live there, they're not there anymore and their families aren't there anymore. Those foreign developers have destroyed my block. They came into my block. They're building all these multi-story family homes and shit. And these were it was a beautiful block, single family homes. They've destroyed my block. When I go through my block and I park and I walk through it, I visit my relatives, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is a fucking shame. But you know what? My friends couldn't keep their properties. My friends were barely working. They went to school. They didn't do a good job in school. They barely graduated. Most of them are still living with their parents. And it kills me to see it because I see that what we should have, the intergenerational wealth you're supposed to have, just destroyed, just absolutely destroyed. And the thing about it is, I get it, this is all connected, but Generation Z, they ain't got nothing and they ain't gonna have nothing. And one thing I learned as a kid from the movie Ninja Turtles, the original one, not the sequels, Master Splinter said the most dangerous thing in the world is a man with nothing to lose. What you witnessed over the last couple of weeks, actually, is you witnessed men with nothing to lose. One of them claimed that they were trans, but I'm still calling them men, and had nothing to lose, went up into that Catholic church, and then took himself out. Then you had this other one who had gotten tired of Charlie Kirk running his mouth. Charlie Kirk, well, he could run up all these, he could parrot statistics in many cases that were wrong or that were based on faulty information. But the one thing I never saw him do was actually go to any of these communities and say, you know what, you're at the highest risk of being killed by somebody in your community. How can I help you? I never saw him not once say, how can I help you? I posed that challenge to somebody. I was like, yeah, could you get me a video where he actually goes and asks these people how he can help? Oh, well, he did talk to a woman about, and I was like, no, that's not what I asked you. I was like, when did he go to any of these communities and basically say, you know what, I've got this platform where I talk shit, and there's a lot of people who listen to me talking shit, and they're going to hate you even more, and they're going to fear you even more. So you know what? I'm going to use my platform to help you. How can I help you? Didn't see that shit, not even once. Apparently, this dude, what is his name? Tyler Robinson? Tyler Robinson had enough of that shit. Tyler Robinson, Generation Z, Tyler Robinson don't believe in the law, whatever, could care less. Anybody who does something like that, they're not afraid of what the law can do to them, and they're not afraid to die in action. That is basic. I can't go any further than that. The dude didn't give a shit. And he said, you know what, I had enough of you. So if what happened is what we've been told has happened, and it's to be believed, like if this wasn't a Lee Harvey Oswald, took like 3 shots in 2.5 seconds. If what we were told is true, this dude said, you know what, I had enough of you. This ain't no, and see, this is the thing that kills me. I'm watching Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan's like, oh, yes, you're not helpful to debate and all that. I'm like, yo, Piers, this is not a debate anymore. This is not first of all, it was never a debate because, on college campuses, y'all got like clocks and you got debate teams and you got moderators. First of all, Piers Morgan sucks as a moderator. That's number one. Number two, this ain't no debate no more. This isn't a friendly conversation. This is war. You know what WAR stands for? It stands for we are right. Robinson believed we are right. Whoever his we is, whether it's trans, LGBT community, whatever it is, he said we are right. As far as Charlie Kirk was concerned, he was right. I listened to this guy on Patriot XM, what's his name? Will Cal Majority. We're right, they're wrong. That's the end of the discussion. I'm like, yo, Will Cal, if you think that you can just shut down a discussion like that, then you haven't met these new kids because they're not arguing with you. They're not discussing anything with you. They will set themselves up 180 yards from you and they'll take you out. That's what they'll do. They will grab that AR and they'll run up into a school building or a church. They're not arguing. They're not debating. This is not about free speech. Free speech says Congress shall make no law. These people, they don't even know that. So they don't give a shit. So yes, one of them ends up on, in this case, ends up on, in police custody and is awaiting, awaiting prosecution. And most likely he'll be found guilty. I personally don't think he's going to get the death penalty, but they might prove me wrong. The bottom line is these people ain't arguing with you. I still do not understand the logic of going out into the public and chastising or trying to argue with people, because this is not a debate. This is argument. I don't understand the logic behind that. I saw Peter Schiff do it. He goes to Occupy Wall Street. I seen Myron Gaines doing it. He thinks that shit is cute. I seen who is it? There was somebody else. Patrick Bet David. I seen him arguing with these socialist kids. In those kids, you can see it. They ain't arguing with you. As far as they're concerned, first of all, they don't even have enough education to have a reasonable side of an argument. They ain't arguing with you. They'll take you out. And you think, oh, yeah, well, I walk around with my concealed carry Sig Sauer. Listen, they don't give a fuck. They will set themselves up 180 yards away from you with their daddy's gun. Look what happened to Trump. Look what happened to Trump. So you got this 20-year-old white male. Boy, male, whatever. Because, see, it's hard for you to call somebody a man when they're that age, because you know how these liberals with the psychology, the brain wasn't fully developed and the hippocampus and blah, blah, blah. My thing is, it's hard for you to look at somebody like that and say, yeah, this grown man shot your ass. No. They'll call him a boy. That's the same type of sympathy they usually get in court. But my point is, 20-year-old white boy takes his daddy's gun and says, yeah, I'm going to take Trump out. And he's in Pennsylvania. 20-year-old white male. And now you got Charlie Kirk. Well, in fact, before you got Charlie Kirk, you got this. I don't really know exactly how old that trans shooter was at that Catholic church for celebrating back to school day. But this next one with the Charlie Kirk, this dude is 22 years old, I believe. And this dude is taking shots like he's Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, what is that? All Gillied Up. Like he's taking shots like that. And I'm like, yo, y'all misunderstood what you were dealing with. You didn't recognize the threat. And these people, now you busy quoting the black on black crime statistics. They look just like you. And one of them, and it's, I was looking at the rifle that the one who tried to take Trump out. You got to understand, if that dude had the same rifle that this dude Robinson had, that would have been a done deal. Because even when I saw the gun, when they showed the picture, they're like, yeah, this is the gun to use. I was like, you can't hit nobody with that, because I have an AR. I was like, yo, you can't hit a target that size at that distance with that equipment. Dude had a rangefinder. I'm like, a rangefinder for what? You got a red dot sight. You're not using. Bottom line is, he failed. This dude with Charlie Kirk, he didn't fail. And these kids, they're not playing with you. They're not arguing with you. And it's funny because he's busy quoting these crime statistics. He gets taken out by one of his own. But what's amazing to me is that that's exactly what the black community is dealing with. They're dealing with Generation Z kids who don't respect authority, haven't been taught civics, don't go to church, completely immoral. They listen to murder music. They play murder simulators, just like those other kids do. All these kids in this country play murder simulators. Their stupid ass parents, though, that's who I blame. Their parents bought them these murder simulators, Call of Duty, Ghost Recon, all this shit. And I'm like, you do realize that the military-industrial complex has literally trained these kids to be soulless killers. It's basically just like some shit you see on these Metal Gear Solid games where they're like, oh yeah, we use VR training to train the kids to kill and all this. It's like, yo, the military-industrial complex has basically, they're releasing Call of Duty, Battlefield, they're releasing these games on Veterans Day every single year. And you wonder why they're so quick to pick up a gun. And it ain't just the white ones, it's the black ones too. That's what the black community is dealing with. But once again, this person, instead of saying, oh, you know what? I have a platform. I can speak out about these issues. How can I help you? I never saw him sitting down with any black church leaders like the one who's talking about him right now, and he's got this sermon. I never saw this dude sitting down with any church leaders. I never saw this dude going into any of these communities. And, oh, you know what? We got to tone down. You know, we got to stop the violence because your people are scared and they're hurt. Never saw any of that shit. One of your own said, you know what? I'm going to take this turkey out. It's Thanksgiving. That's what happened. So, you wonder, how is all this related? Well, when I say Generation Z can't afford shit, what I'm basically saying is partially because of the economic situation that's been created, they can't afford shit. Now, I had somebody get in my DMs and they're like, oh, thanks, Big Truck. Those stocks that you told me about, I've made a lot of money on those stocks. And I was like, okay, you're welcome. I think I posted it on my community chat, and if I didn't, I'll repost it and you can see it. And I got people constantly thanking me for my advice. You know, I warned them. I was like, yo, listen, this crypto shit looks like a rug pull to me. GameStop looks like a goddamn Ponzi scheme and a rug pull to me. Stay out of that shit. Oh, I want to be rich. I want to get a Lamborghini. Some people went into it. Some people didn't. I said, no, focus on dividend paying stocks. If you layer your portfolio well, you could be getting paid every single month. If you own enough stock and you start now, later on, you could be getting paid every single month. Well, the Fed has just cut rates. As you can see, and it's funny because I'm just even seeing this now, the Dow is at 46,000. We are basically on our way to 50,000. In the long run, it worries me. Because, as you know, when the Fed lowers rates, inflation creeps up. The only good thing that comes out of this is it's actually easier to service the national debt because now the interest on the debt is easier to pay. That's one of the reasons why they can't raise interest rates, and that's what they should be doing. They've kept interest rates too low for too long. Just about any economist would probably agree with me unless their head's up Trump's ass, at which point they're okay with him threatening Lisa Cook. They're okay with him threatening Jerome Powell. And the sad thing about it is I'm worried that Trump is going to end up putting a bunch of sycophants on the Federal Reserve because, you know, there's like 12 voting members, right? I'm afraid that he's going to put a bunch of sycophants there and that they'll probably lower the shit to zero for all I know. And the issue ultimately is interest rates will be low, inflation will creep up, mortgage rates will because you got to understand, if you lower the interest rates and you make it easier to apply for mortgages, more people are going to apply for mortgages. You could have what's called a reverse mortgage crash, because now the sellers are like, wait a minute, I got all these offers coming in from every which way. I can raise the prices. Reverse mortgage crash, the price is going to go up. And that's what kind of worries me. Now, frankly, here's the thing. I'm sitting up in my house right now. I got my ceiling fan on, and I'm okay. Like, if I did nothing differently, I'll be fine up until my retirement. And then you know what I'm going to do. You know my plan. I have no aspirations at all. I plan on retiring probably to Southeast Asia. I'm going to be laying on the beach. I'm going to have a wife half my age, chick half my age, fanning me with a coconut leaf and feed me buko juice. And I will gladly sit and shit until I'm dead, just on the beach doing nothing. Because you see how these other people are? These other people spent up all their money. They didn't have 401ks. They didn't have tax-deferred annuities. These people got to work till they're dead. That's not going to be me. That's not going to be me. Right now, I'm putting my money together. I'm doing my best not to go and buy expensive shit. Like, I do take a vacation here and there, but you got to understand, when I'm doing these vacations, like I'm getting ready to go to Vietnam, Cambodia, when I'm doing these vacations, that's reconnaissance. I'm going over there to see, okay, if I move over here, what will it be like? I'm doing reconnaissance. I'm doing recon. That's what I'm doing. You know, reconnaissance, that's what I'm doing. Let me tell you something. This place first of all, I find it so amazing, these people jumping up on these. We got to stop the violence. I'm like, what are you talking about, stop the violence? You're at war. You can't just turn it off. You're at war. One side is at war with the other side. Neither side is listening to what the other is saying. Everybody's pointing and blaming. And the bottom line is, you don't just, you don't rev it up and then just turn it off. No, it only gets worse. I don't know who it'll be next time, but it'll be some next time. I don't know. But no, that's where you are. I'm just trying to stay alive long enough so that I can pack my shit and get the fuck out of here. I don't know if it'll be Pattaya, Thailand, or if it'll be part of Dumaguete in Philippines. I don't know. It might be Vietnam. Who knows? I might go to Ho Chi Minh City, because I'm going to Ho Chi Minh City. I'm going to Phnom Penh. And I might look around and say, you know what? I love this. I want to live here. It's safe. You know, I can raise my children. They'll be mathematicians, because I'll send them to one of these schools where they teach the children. You know, they actually teach them, and they'll learn math skills, and they'll be able to compete with just about any American kid, because the American kids, the only thing they know is Roblox and Fortnite and TikTok. So my kids will be able to wipe the floor with them. So bottom line is, I have no aspirations. I have no plans. You know how people ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I say retired. That's it. I have no aspirations. None. I just want to be retired, got my dividend checks coming in, and that's it. I can't think of anything else. I just can't think of anything else. But the downside is, because America is such a violent, dangerous, and chaotic place, you got to stay alive long enough to hit retirement. That's the problem. That's the real problem. These people who are on the opposing side, these people are like losing it. Everybody's losing it. And the crazy thing is, now everybody looks alike. It's like it was easy before for you to be like, okay, we'll segregate those people from us, and those people will be over there. So we'll be right here, and we can easily see. These new people look just like you. These new people are in your family. These new people are your cousins, your sisters, your brothers. These new people are your family members. It's not it used to be so easy, and now it's not. You know, I feel like the Joker in that Batman movie. You know, he's like, yeah, you know what? When the chips are down, these people will eat each other. I already see it. I see it. But long story short, Fed cut these interest rates. So what's the story? Let's look at real quick, because I want to end this. I want to get back to what I was doing, because I was playing chess. So anyway, Wall Street ends mixed, trade choppy after Fed rate cut. Let's see. It says Dow up is 0.57%, S&P down 0.1, NASDAQ down 0.32. Federal Reserve cuts interest rates by 25 basis points. And what was I always saying? I was like, yo, listen, this ain't no real freaking cut. This is just something to say that they cut interest rate. 25 basis points is nothing. It's nothing. This is when they talking about, look at this. The Dow Jones, okay, wait. I'm looking for the part where they literally spell it out for you. It says, where is it? And NVIDIA is worth more than Canada now, you know. But the reality is 25 basis points is absolutely nothing, because the problem ultimately is, if you haven't already gotten a property, if you haven't already gotten a car, you're still paying basically the same exact thing. If the interest rate was a 7.5 and they drop it 25 basis points, you're still at 7.2. So what difference did it make? You're still above fucking 7. What difference does it make? Let me tell you something. Trump can keep on going after the Fed. He can keep on trying to make shit up. And he can go after Jerome Powell. He can go after Lisa Cook. At this point, it does not matter. The Supreme, well, I shouldn't say the Supreme, but the courts are ruling that his tariffs are illegal. We don't know if that money will have to be refunded, but we'll see. I mean, you know, I had a bet with somebody that this shit wasn't going to work. And what was it? I said the bet was going to end like November. And the thing about it is I'm real patient. So I say, yeah, I'll wait till November and then you owe me money. Because I like betting these people. These people don't understand. They're playing with a chess player who understands how to play on both sides. They don't get it. But the problem is, it's like the tariffs are already causing prices to go up. People are starting to feel that. The interest rates being lowered 25 basis points is virtually nothing. If they had raised it a full point, like if they had said, yeah, we're going from 7 to 6%, that might have done something more dramatic. But the 25 base, come on, 0.25, really? That's nothing. That's nothing. That's nothing. Like, you'd be hard pressed to explain to me how that makes a difference. You'd really be hard pressed. It's nothing. Long story short, the stock reaction, let's see, NVIDIA is, $4 trillion. Google's $3 trillion. Amazon's at 2.47. Apple is at, $3.54. Microsoft, $510, but it's at, $3.79 trillion. I've been saying the same thing over and over and over and over. You should be investing, because let me tell you something, America's consumer is screwed. You need to be doing what I'm doing and putting that money in credit card stock. Credit card stock. Discover, MasterCard, Visa, and Goldman Sachs. Do you understand how? Look at this. I kept telling y'all about Goldman Sachs months ago. They're damn near at $800 right now. Damn near at $800. My portfolio jumped up like $2,000 or $3,000 only within like the last couple of days. And then it went down like maybe $500-$600, I guess, in response to this. But the thing about it is the movement is upwards. I'm thinking either Goldman Sachs or Facebook Meta, I'm thinking that they're going to end up having to do a stock split. And eventually they're going to do a stock split. Let me tell you something. If you can't afford to buy in now, you better have your money ready for that stock split. Because the thing about it is these corporations, they're making their money. Meta is worth $1.9 trillion. They will very soon be over $2 trillion. Very, very soon. Goldman Sachs, what is it? Goldman Sachs is, what is this? Goldman Sachs is worth $240.4 billion. Their stock is going to $1,000. I guarantee you. Americans are screwed. The credit card debt is going to take them over. And that's the reason why I keep making these little silly videos about having an 850 credit score and about how to, buy credit card or take out credit cards properly and efficiently. But you know what? YouTube silences all that. That's why I ain't got no respect for them. YouTube makes it so that you don't even get to hear those videos. Not unless I'm some fake guru, or not unless I'm, paying them to show my videos. I'm not paying them a dime. I'll deal with what I got and I'll just be what it is. But they will not allow the voices. You know what's funny? Most of these videos I'm watching of these dudes who are talking about these credit cards that just came out. I think tomorrow American Express is supposed to drop a new platinum card. Yeah, these people are talking about taking out these credit cards, but they're not explaining like how to deal with credit and how to win at the credit card game, which is exactly what it is. And I am. But they're the ones who, they got 100,000 followers, 200,000 followers, 500,000 followers. And I'm like, wait a minute. These people are giving out useless information. These people are probably putting a lot of these other people deeper in debt. And meanwhile, I've gone in the exact opposite direction. And look what they've done. They basically, I have to spam my link on Facebook to make sure that a video gets views. But you know what? Let them have their fun playing with their algorithm. Let them have their fun shadow banning. I'm wealthy. I don't give a shit at this point. I don't need them. You know, I'll thank them for when before COVID, before they started with this algorithm bullshit. I'll thank them for making it easy for me to make a lot of money that I put into my stock portfolio. The Passport Bros business class moniker, I've made thousands of dollars on that. The Big Truck series, I made and I'll be perfectly honest, I made over $100,000 making those silly ass videos, shouting at fucking cars. No, I'll be perfectly serious. I made over $100,000 doing that. Now, to listen to me in these videos, you'd think I was crazy, but I'll let you know that it's kind of hard. You know, I'm not like Charlie Kirk. It's kind of hard for you to call somebody crazy when they've got like 2 master's degrees from accredited colleges. It's kind of hard when they have a bachelor's degree from an accredited college. It's kind of hard when when I've traveled to like places like China and gone to school in Fudan University. It's kind of hard for you to call people crazy. It's kind of hard for you to discount what they're saying then. It's easier when you're, uneducated and talentless. It's easier then. But the reality is these people have no idea what's coming. I expect the worst, so I know what's coming. Like, I'm pretty sure what's not going to happen is that you're going to have these two sides, left and right, come out from behind the bunkers to shake hands and make peace. That's not going to happen. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. So what I'm telling you is that these people are going to go deeper and deeper into debt. What I'm telling you is that the situation is going to get even more desperate. What I'm saying is that Generation Z and first of all, right now you're dealing with Generation Z. Now, what is this guy, Robinson? And the other guy who tried to shoot Trump, Crooks? Those are products of Generation Z. You ain't seen shit until you see Generation Alpha. Generation Alpha is going to be so crazy until Generation Z is going to be in awe of how crazy Generation Alpha is. I can already see that coming. So I'm just counting down the days to my retirement. I'm going to have my bags packed, get the fuck out of here before shit really hits the fan, because I already know it's coming. I know it's coming. So long story short, you should be betting on these credit card stocks. Just as I said, Bitcoin was $116,000. I could care less what it is. Ripple is back up to $3. It was down below $3. It's like at this point, I barely even look anymore. I don't even get excited anymore when I look at this shit. I really don't. What was I thinking? I was thinking of that video that I was just showing about Dodge. Dodge is dead. Not Dogecoin. Where's the other one? Where is it? Stellantis. Stellantis. $9.68. That company is going to die a horrible, slow death. That company. These states are cracking down. They're saying, listen, we're not even going to allow you to sell Dodge Durangos in these CARB states. What is this? Chrysler's recall 164,000 Jeep vehicles over door trim. Stellantis to recall over 53,000 U.S. vehicles over fuel pump. That was 1 day ago. I got out when I could. I'm thankful that I had a chance to drive some of the coolest cars that existed. But I got out because I understood that this shit was going down. I knew what does they say? All rats know when to desert a sinking ship. Yeah, well, I knew how to desert the ship. I had some people trying to argue with me. Hey, yeah, you don't know what you're Yeah, well, how do they feel now? How do they feel? You can see it. If you pay attention, you can see the trend. The trend was down. People can't afford this shit. And it's not just Dodge. People can't afford nothing no more. They can't afford cars. You got Generation Z out there. You got a whole generation of kids who can't afford to buy shit. They can't. My cousin, I told this story already. My cousin's got a damn 93 Toyota Camry. And the insurance shit, the car is paid off because it's an old ass car. It's got over 100,000 miles on it. Paying $859 a month for insurance. She's Generation Z. Generation Z can't afford shit. So as soon as she's late on that bill, that car is sitting. She had to do her brakes, her calipers, all that stuff because it wasn't done when they inspected the car initially. I was like, yo, that's $2,000 that you just threw on a credit card. And that's exactly what she did. Threw it on a credit card. Everything she buys, iPhone 17's coming out. If her credit allows her, if her credit limit hasn't been cut off yet, she's going to buy it probably. I'm like, bet on these credit cards. That's why I kept telling people, I was like, yo, listen, buy credit card stock. Oh, no. I'm buying Bitcoin. We going to the moon. And now you find out that Russia is accusing America of trying to unwind the national debt into cryptocurrency. It's a pump and dump. It's a rug pull. It's a Ponzi scheme. I've always said the same shit. Even when it looked good, it looked bad. Like, I was like, nah, man. Now, I tell you, if it was all that, then you'd see all of these big mega corporations. They'd be buying Bitcoin left and right. Here's a question. How much Bitcoin did NVIDIA buy? How much Bitcoin did Microsoft buy? How much Bitcoin did Apple buy? How much and then you got Elon Musk. Let's go back up to Tesla for a sec. You got Elon Musk. See, my mind's all over the place. Elon Musk, in 1 week, pushed the stock from, what is this? The low was what's the low? The low was 409, and now it's like 425. In 1 week, or let's say 2 weeks, Elon Musk pushed this stock up by buying his own stock. So he took $1 billion out of his pocket and put it into Tesla. Meanwhile, Tesla's sales are down. Apparently, nobody wants to buy a car if they're afraid that their car is going to get vandalized. Apparently, nobody wants to buy a car where the interior looks boring. Apparently, nobody wants to buy a car from somebody who most people believe at this point is a racist, anti-Semitic Afrikaner who probably still believes in apartheid based on the shit that he's saying and based on the far-right groups that he's funding over there in Europe. Well, guess what? Europe said, you know what? Those Hitler salutes that you're doing, we don't like that. Now, in America, we coddle racism, which is why right now the news is going through what it's going through right now. I have to wonder just how hard are we making Facebook and YouTube's algorithm work just to get rid of these negative comments and the hate and shit. Because I have to imagine they're making these AIs work really hard to censor us. I have to imagine that. But bottom line is, Europe said, you know what, we're going to boycott your ass. We're not buying from no racist, anti-Semitic Afrikaner. We're not buying from you. Chinese vehicles are selling really well in Europe. Now, America had to block Chinese vehicles because if those cars started coming here, well, at their low prices, now the Generation Z kids would actually, now they'd be able to afford a car. Now, their insurance would probably be pretty high, but they'd be able to afford to buy these cars. And the thing about it is America had to block that shit from coming here out of protectionist views because they're afraid that if those cars come here, Americans might start buying Chinese vehicles. Like that new Lincoln Nautilus I was looking. That Lincoln Nautilus is a very nice car. Ain't made here. It's made in China. So you mean to tell me that all the rest of the Lincolns suck, and the one that you've got that's actually nice is made in China, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. Not a good sign. But the reality is these Europeans, they still teach history over there. They still teach civics over there. These Europeans said, we ain't buying from this racist, anti-Semitic Afrikaner. We're not buying from him. So they have a boycott on this dude. So this dude, the sales of Tesla are down. Even with this tax credit coming to an end, supposedly. Sales in Tesla are down. Why? Because now you got competition. Cadillac's kicking ass. Ford and Lincoln, all they got is the Mustang Mach-E and the Ford Lightning. They're not doing that well. People don't really want electric trucks, or at least they don't want them right now. Jeff Bezos thinks that he's going to sell some lame-ass, slate, little-ass truck, and he thinks that that's going to do well. I don't know. I think Generation Z ain't going to buy it. I think millennials aren't going to buy it. I don't think it's going to do well, but we'll have to wait and see. Bottom line is, they said Elon Musk, yeah, them Hitler salutes, that wasn't cute, so we're boycotting your ass. America can coddle racism all at once and hide behind free speech doing it. Europe ain't playing that shit. Europe says if you come over here and you misgender these people, if you come over here and you start any of that, that far-right nonsense, we're going to lock you up. And Piers Morgan just interviewed some dude. I don't even know his name. I didn't care. He interviewed some dude, went over there because he said something about transsexual. They locked his... Well, they detained him at the airport. Now, as far as whether he got locked up, I really don't know. But over there, they ain't playing that shit. They'll arrest your ass. They ain't playing over there. They just went through World War II not too long ago. It's fresh in their memory. Anything that even sounds racist, they're not playing. Anything that sounds fascist, they're not playing. They'll lock your ass up. It's just that simple. So they say, yeah, Elon, we ain't buying this stuff. So Elon had to take $1 billion of his own money, and he had to buy Tesla stock with $1 billion of his own money to pump this price up. This is a pump and dump, basically. It's a rug pull. He pumps the stock prices up, suckers people into it so that they think, oh, wow, the price is going up, I'll definitely buy. Tesla, something tells me they ain't got too long to be where they are. Something tells me that because of fallen sales, Donald Trump canceling that tax credit, something tells me Tesla sales about to take some serious nosedives. And the long story short, if Elon got to spend another $2 or $3 billion, pump that stock up, all I'm waiting for is him to make the mistake of getting that shit to $500 a share, and I'm hitting the sell all button, and I'm out. I will take that money and I will rotate it right into credit cards, because that's where I see this country going. This country is going to drown in debt. I guarantee you, by the time Trump's administration, by the time he's out of here in 3 years, I guarantee we're going to be at $40 trillion. Now, there's some, oh, yeah, well, he's not leaving. He's going to stay. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, let's see him try that shit. Let's see that January 6th shit happen again. Let's see what happens. No. The only way I think he could constitutionally stay is if he ran as a vice president. That's the only possible way. J.D. Vance ain't winning no national election. I don't care if Trump is on the ticket. It ain't happening. After he's terrorized these people psychologically enough, now they have a reason to actually come out and vote against him. He's terrorized the left. He's terrorized them just enough. And they're like, yo, when it comes time for the midterm elections, they're going to get up and vote. So those people who stayed home because they didn't like Kamala, I totally understand why you didn't vote for her. I'm not even judging you. But now you've seen exactly what was at stake. So now they'll get up. Now they'll be like, well, the Democrats, I don't know what they got for us, but I'm voting for that. It's a damn shame, but that's this left-wing, right-wing bullshit. That's what you got. So long story short, 2028, you can bet a Democrat going to be sitting right up in that White House. Guaranteed. I guarantee it. If you even look at the trend, it was, H.W. Bush, Clinton. And then after Clinton, it was W. Bush. And then after W. Bush, Obama. And then after Obama, you got Trump. And then after Trump, you got Biden. And after Biden, you got Trump again. The ping pong ball. It's the pendulum. swinging back and forth. Let me tell you something. You ain't seen nothing yet. I see it coming. It's going to be ugly as fuck. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I guarantee it's only going to get worse. It doesn't, at this point, you know that they got that commercial? I think they were trying to keep people from offing themselves. And they said, oh, it gets better. No. It doesn't. It doesn't get better. It gets worse. It gets a lot worse. It gets a lot worse. You got to be preparing yourself. You got to be like the squirrel that knows winter's coming and he's taking his nuts and he's putting his nuts in special places, putting them underground, hiding his nuts. He's got his nuts ready for the winter. That's what you got to be. That's how you got to basically say, you know what? Things are about to get real bad. Let me go get my nuts and let me hide these nuts so that I can eat during the winter. Let me hide these nuts. Let me hide this 50 caliber Action Express ammunition for this Desert Eagle. Because when the winter comes, I want to have my nuts. Let me hide this BFR. Because when the winter comes, I want to have my nuts. You see, a lot of people don't understand the squirrel. The squirrel got to hide his nuts. You got to keep, first of all, you got to get them nuts. You got to collect some nuts. And you got to hide them nuts. Let me tell you something. You know what I'm doing right now? I'm hiding. I got nuts. I got some nuts hidden. Or I got lots of nuts. I got them nuts collected. I got nuts collecting dividends. And I got nuts that are just waiting for something to pop off. I got nuts. Lots of nuts. So the question that I pose to you, do you have your nuts?
I would have loved to have thrown this car in the fleet if it were street legal. 21, I believe, Hellcat. Durango. This car is pieced together from several different stolen cars. The engine, the frame, the body, they're all from different cars. And so for that reason, this car is not street legal and cannot be put back out on the street. We did consider how to sell some of those parts. We're going to be crushing this car today. And we want this to be symbolic to people who are out here doing this street racing, understanding that we will take your...
You know you live in a racist nation when a black athlete can't kneel for the national anthem, but they will hold a moment of silence for a white supremacist.
He has a fan base of people that back him up and back these crazy viewpoints, and then these viewpoints are seen as normal. They're seen as normalized when they shouldn't be. And that, in that way, that makes him that bad. To promote things like that, to promote the shit he says about rape and abortion, and oh, I just saw this video where he said the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. Get out of here. Anybody that says shit like that, I don't care what.
You are not welcome here. We will not let you put lives at risk. We will seize your car, and if it's not legal for the streets, we will crush it.
To be continued.